All right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you today? I am Creatively Lisa, high vibing in from Long Beach, California. Welcome. Woo! Everything goes right up to the wire. I've got Zooms and appointments and things right up to 10:30. So I always have to make sure I get everything done. Thank you so much for being here today. I'm so excited to talk about this topic. It's very interesting because I put a post out earlier in regards to water and got some comments back on that. And then food, dog food. And we are talking about our pups' diet, our pups' food intake, the truth about dog food, hidden toxins, and holistic swaps. Do you know what's in your dog's food? Like really what it's made out of? Do you feed them kibble? Do you feed them raw? Do you feed them cooked? Or you cook it yourself? Do you buy cooked food for them? Or air dried, freeze dried? What type of food does your dog eat? And do you know what's actually in it? What the ingredients are and where they are sourced. These topics are so necessary when feeding your dog. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So I'm really excited to be talking about this. This is something that I researched so much. And I saw at various points of our life, Thule and mine specifically, that this was difficult. So for instance, I had her on a pretty solid diet that I was confident in and happy with when we were living here in the United States. However, when I moved to Italy, I had the hardest time sourcing good, solid food. I kept looking at the ingredients and I did not find stuff that was actually high quality. I had the hardest time. And this was a huge struggle. And I couldn't even get a lot of the brands and trusted food that I bought her. I couldn't get it shipped into Italy. So this turned out to be an issue. And I swore I would never do that again. So I started doing lots and lots of research on dog foods, what to get, what's in the food, what needs to be in the food. And I've come up with some amazing information to share with you so that you can run and go look at your own dog food and see if this is something that you need to shift directions on and where you actually need to buy the food and what you need to actually be feeding your dog. Because when you are feeding them a poor diet, it's going to show up in all phases of their life. It will accelerate their aging process. It will accelerate arthritis and all sorts of health concerns and issues. They will gray earlier. They will get tired. They will move less and they will feel bad. They won't feel good. And it will perpetuate many, many other health concerns. Or they will thrive and feel amazing and run and play at 10, at 12 years old with no problems whatsoever. Food is one of the big four. And this is so important. So I'm so excited to be here. I'm so excited to have this conversation with you. For me, it's huge. It's something that can literally add years to your pup's life, reduce vet visits, and keep their tails wagging and pure joy for many, many years to come. So tell me, how many of you have grabbed your dog food and looked at the ingredient list and felt lost? Like you don't know. We trust our brands to actually give us what our animal needs. Just like we trust the brands to give us what we need. It's the same situation, except You look at our food sources and the stuff that's in our foods, and that is policed more than dog food is. Dog food is policed far less. So if our foods are sketchy, to say the least, then think about the dog foods that are actually being sold in stores and manufactured today here. We've really got to look at this, and so let's look at it a little bit deeper. So have you wondered, is it really best for my pup what I'm feeding them? If so, you're not alone. This is something that drove me crazy. And as I watch dogs and take care of dogs and meet with doggy mamas and daddies, that's one of the first things that I go to when I find out what's going on with the pup. What's their diet like? That's simple. It's such an easy thing to begin with. And it's something that will make huge and profound changes in your dog's life and how they interact with you. So today we are exposing the hidden dangers that's lurking in commercial pet food, dog food specifically, but cat food is just as bad. These brands don't want you to know where the ingredients come from, what's in there, and how it's manufactured. They don't want you to know that. So I'm going to give you an easy, actionable swaps and tell you what's in the dog food so that you can feel more confident when you're choosing the food for your dog, and so that every single meal that you feed your fur baby is something that you're proud of and you know that you're doing the best for them. So let's get started. So first, I want to go over why this matters so much. So why does your dog food matter so much with the care of your pup? We all want to live really, really long, and we all want our pups to live as long as we do. And unfortunately, that isn't the case. However, they can live far longer than what they currently are. And we want them to have energy, to be free from allergies and constant vet visits. We want them to be free from itchy skin, digestive concerns, and even worse, scary diseases like cancer. But the truth is, the food that is being given to them directly impacts their health. Yet, so many foods are filled with junk, fillers, ingredients that literally are making these pets sick, and it's unknowingly. And we're feeding it to them every single day. But today I've got a fix. That's why it's so important. So let's go over some toxic ingredients specifically that's hiding in your dog food bags. And by the way, if you are new here, share this with a friend, and so that we can get them in the group and get them in here learning about this as soon as possible. So welcome, High Vibe Dog Group community. I'm so excited that you're here. Let's get started on the toxic ingredients. So grab your food bag and let's get to it. The toxic ingredients that's hiding in your dog's food. Let's break it down, the biggest offenders, and we can go from there. So these ingredients should never be in your pup's bowl. None of these, okay? So number one, it's BHA and BHT. These preservatives are actually banned in some countries because they are linked specifically to cancer, yet they're still in dog food. Why? What's a better option? Food. So look for natural preservatives such as vitamin E, vitamin C. These two are much better preservative and actually already available and it's healthy for our dogs' bodies. So number 2, 𝗧𝗥𝗨𝗧𝗛. I know that's a hard one to say. And I don't know what those balloons are. 𝗧𝗥𝗨𝗧𝗛, it literally is a pesticide. A pesticide. Let that sit for a minute. It's been linked to kidney and liver damage. 𝗧𝗥𝗨𝗧𝗛. Why is it in the pup's bowl? Why is it in dog food? A better option, choose foods preserved with rosemary extract. I love essential oils. Rosemary extract is a much better way to preserve as well. So here's another one. Propylene glycol. This is used in antifreeze. I'm going to let that sit for a minute as well. Antifreeze and keeps food moist. Gross. Insanely gross. It actually, that this stuff is in dogs' food, and people are knowingly every single day feeding their animals. You're feeding your dogs this food and you don't even know it. You don't even realize it. You assume it's healthy and safe. It's not. This chemical, again, propylene glycol, can lead to toxicity over time. And I talk about this frequently when I go in to talks on toxic overload from chemicals in the home cleaning products. This is another way, toxic overload. Your liver cannot process this out, and so it's going to cause a lot of kidney and liver damage. So a better option are to pick foods that use real, natural ingredients, moisture from fresh meats and veggies. Much, much better. Here's another one. Why it's in there, it makes no sense, because typically dogs and cats are colorblind. They don't see colors and things like we see them. So it's obviously made for us. Artificial colors and flavors. These do nothing but make the food look and taste better at the expense of your dog's health. It's not necessary. If they're using real ingredients, then the real food will look better. But if they're using trash, basically, then of course it's not going to look good. So be very conscious of these ingredients. These will can cause hyperactivity, allergies, inflammation, all of this by using artificial colors and flavors in your dog's food. So what's a good option? Real food. That equals real flavor. Think blueberries, carrots, spinach. I used to give Thule pumpkin all the time. And real meat. And I'm going to take it a step further. Grass-fed, free range. These are going to be far superior to whatever's left over. And we'll get to that. We'll get to that one down the line. It's a coming up topic. What's another bad ingredient? Corn syrup. Why is it in food? It's junk. That's in junk food for humans. You don't need to sweeten it up. It's unnecessary. It spikes blood sugars, leads to diabetes, and fuels weight gain in your pets. Does it in you too. Us as well. So it's a bad one all the way across. So a better option is to avoid sweeteners entirely. That's unnecessary. The dogs don't need it. That's something that it's in our food, and now they're switching it because we, of course, buy the food. Stick to tiny amounts of natural ones too, also like honey, even like in treats and stuff. So that's a good option. So I want to go over these one more time just to kind of give you a rundown. So these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 toxic ingredients that is hiding in your dog's food. BHA and BHT, ethoxyquin, propylene glycol, artificial colors and flavors, and corn syrup. Get these out of the dog food. Keep it out. We don't need them in there at all. Very unnecessary to have these ingredients in your dog's food. Ours too, a matter of fact. And we're working on that one. So let's go over a few other ingredients that hide in your dog's food and you think it's okay. I thought it was okay. I remember it. And I'm even going to go over some brands that are filled with this and give you a couple options on that as well later on in the live. So let's get to it. So meat byproduct. That is huge, massive scandal. It's horrible. Meat byproduct and meat meals. Now, these are one of the biggest lies in the pet food industry, both meat meal and meat byproduct. Now, sounds innocent though, right? Oh, it's just, it's okay. But this is what they don't tell you about what meat meal and what meat product is in your pet's food. This one's huge. It contains diseased tissues, roadkill, and slaughterhouse waste. That's number one. It's low quality protein and it's hard for your dogs to actually even digest it. And it contains antibiotics, pesticides, and hormones from those animals that it came from and from whatever else. So meat meal and meat byproduct. Better choices, whole human grade meats like chicken, turkey, beef, lamb, elk, and fish. These are all much, much better high quality proteins for your pet. If it doesn't say real whole meat sourced first, put it back. And taking it, as I said before, taking it a step further, look for also, because it's all where the animals came from and what's in them, grass-fed, free range, such like that, so that you're going to get a much higher quality protein. So here's a big one. And this one blew me away when I discovered it. And I'm going to be honest, I didn't know. And I look back at what I fed Thule in the beginning before I learned. And what I fed Joey, because I thought it's got all the ingredients that our pups need. It has all the minerals and all of this because we've been brainwashed into believing that these bags of hard kibble are better for our dogs than real food. They're not. And here is why. It is a silent health destroyer, and it's called AGEs. It is advanced glycolic end products, is what it is. And nobody really talks about it. You don't mention it. You can look at your labels and you will not even find it. And that's because it is actually, I can't think of the word. So as in the manufacturing of your dog's food, while it's being manufactured, it's not added in. And while it's being manufactured, it automatically causes this to happen. So it doesn't have to actually be put on the label. These glycotoxins form when your food is actually cooked at extremely high temperatures like kibble. The problem is AGEs accelerate aging, it causes inflammation, and are carcinogenic in nature. Means that they increase the cancer risk because they are carcinogenic. So, and guess where they're found? Highly processed, heat-treated dog food, kibble. So when you look at any kibble brand, and there's a couple alternatives that I discovered, but most every single one of them has this. What a better option is to not give them kibble at all, number one. fresh, whole, lightly cooked meals. If kibble is your only option, add fresh toppers to reduce the ACG exposure, or better yet, look for a kibble that's baked at low temperatures. It's going to take a lot longer for this to happen, so most companies won't do it. But there's one I know of for sure, and a couple other ones that I suspect are done this way. I haven't done the research. I did one. I discovered one for sure, and I'll go over that as well. But you want to look for not that at all, but baked food. Another option would be freeze-dried food that you can just add water to it and make it. Then it's easy too. That's an easy source of food. But my thing is, and I'm going to call this out because I think it's important. If we're taking the time and we're choosing to bring a pup or kitty into our lives, part of that is making time for them and getting them money-wise exactly what their body needs. And when we look at the food and stuff, we need to really focus on what we can feed them and doing the best to high quality that we possibly can for them and us both. So these are options. Now, I do want to say, and I'm going to mention, let me see, because I've got this laid out. Yep, I've got it laid out. So we're going to do it. I have planned this live out, and because this was so important to me. And I didn't know the truth. I didn't know. And I've learned that so many people don't know either. And they grab a bag thinking that's the best that they can get them. No, there's more. So dog food, so good. And we need to stay away from the ACGs or AGEs. But it's not just about the ingredients being harmful. It's about what they actually do to the bodies. These toxic substances accumulate over time in the body, just like toxic chemicals do from cleaning products and care products. They build up over time. So they will weaken your dog's immune system. They will increase the likelihood of cancer in your dogs. It will also increase the likelihood of chronic health conditions, and will just in general make them feel sluggish and unhealthy. They don't feel like doing anything. They don't have that vibrant, healthy energy that they had when you got them, like they should have all the way through their life. They don't have their mind also slows down. It slows and perpetuates a slowness in the memory and in the mind. So you'll notice they'll accelerate the aging process much, much faster. It helps speed that along. They will gray faster, move slower because of bone and joint pain, and tire much, much quicker, way before their time. This food is mandatory. High quality food is mandatory for keeping a pup healthy, happy, and vibrant for many, many years to come. So let's go over some simple swaps and things that you can do. And I'll give you brands and different things as well. So simple swaps for a healthy pup. And now that we know what to avoid, let's talk about the easy swaps that can make a huge difference starting right now. So first and foremost, go grab your bags of food and read that label. If you cannot pronounce it, don't use it. Get rid of it. And whatever you're seeing at the very beginning of the bag, that's what's mostly in it. So that's number one. You want to choose whole meat first. No byproducts, no mystery meats. No. You want to avoid artificial ingredients. Stick with real, recognizable foods and ingredients. Add fresh food toppers. Even a little bit of fresh, raw, or slightly cooked food can do wonders for your pup's health. And hydrate their food. If you're still choosing kibble that lacks moisture, which actually that hard, those kibbles actually strain their kidneys. Add bone broth to the food, or raw goat's milk for a boost. That's going to give them more nutrition. It's going to soften the food, and it's going to be much, much easier on your pup's organs. So if you want a complete list of dog food brands, I'm going to go through a few, but if you want a complete list of all the different foods in the different categories, then just drop the word food in the comments and I will get that to you. Now, I am going to go over some different types of food and a few brands in each one. So you have baked kibble. I'll put that at the bottom. And usually I used a brand that had only grass-fed meats in it and organic vegetables. And it was a brand called 𝗧𝗥𝗨𝗧𝗛. I read a lot about the company and I saw how the food was actually manufactured, and it had me right then and there, because they gave you different options. So they had kibble, but the kibble, not only was it baked, it had freeze-dried coating on top of it. So it was extra beneficial for your pup. So it had that. They had raw, they had straight freeze-dried and air-dried foods. So 𝗧𝗥𝗨𝗧𝗛, and it also had a good solid probiotic already in the food, which your dog needs. So 𝗧𝗥𝗨𝗧𝗛 is a great brand. And you want to look for, so we've got kibble, you want raw is another solid brand, stews, wet food. Again, look at the ingredients. I always ask when you're looking at it, does it look good enough for you to eat? And the raw, what does it look like? You know, how is it becoming? Usually it comes cold and looks like hamburger patties. And then you just thaw it out, add some water to it, and feed it to your dog. So raw, air-dried, freeze-dried, and kibbles are about the main ones. And then you have different meal mixtures and stuff that you can just add water to and add to meat also, and a variety of minerals and stuff. And now they have these slightly cooked meals out. Again, look at the manufacturer. Where are they getting the meat and where's the food sourced from? So this is huge. So you can get a lot of those gently cooked meals as well. So those are different types of meat. And I'm happy to give you an entire list of all of this if you want, but this will get you started. So 𝗧𝗥𝗨𝗧𝗛 is a good brand. They're about the best one I've come across that has baked. It's the only one I've really found. There's a couple other ones that I think are good, but I haven't done the research, so I'm not going to mention them until I do more research. But they have, they're absolutely baked. Another good brand is, it's called Real Meat. They are air dried. It's amazing. And I used Real Meat, and Ziwi Peak, which actually comes from New Zealand, is all grass-fed meat as well. And it's just air-dried meat. So you can feed it just straight to your animals, throw little vegetables in if you want. It's made that way. And I also used it for treats. So I no longer bought treats from the store because, again, it's just like buying junk food. It's not good for your animals. It's not healthy at all for your animals. So stay away from 90% of the treats out there. So find treats that are actually healthy. Carrots are really good to give to dogs as treats. Any air-dried food like this, freeze-dried also is really good as well. And fruit, blueberries. Find things like this that's going to be healthy for your pup. So that is the skinny on dog food. Now, I'd love to know if this is something that you didn't know about. And I'd also like to know, are you going to go look at the dog food that you're currently giving your dog and seriously give it a second thought and wonder why? Now, I also want, I don't want this to go on forever, but I also want to go over, and I might just share this in a reel later or some posts in the group. So all of this content that I'm going over right now is going to be in the Facebook High Vibe Dog group. Everything. If you're not a member, join. It's where all the base, it's all where everything is going to be kept at. But there are brands of dog food, just like human food. And I did this recently with cleaning products. Products that you think are safe aren't so safe. They've been bought out. And dog food brands that were solid, good dog food brands have now been bought out by Purina, Alpo, Pedigree, all of these really low-grade companies that are just now using much more cheaper ingredients. Merrick was bought out. I got the whole list. I'll do a post on this or a reel on this and give you those examples as well. Or join the group if you're not already in there, and it'll all be in there. I'm setting it up now. I want this community to be a place to go to find the truth and what you can do so that you and your pup can live in an amazingly high vibe state and thrive for many, many years to come. This is something that is so utterly mandatory in my life, because I remember how I felt before I knew, and what I did before I knew, and it didn't feel good. So if I can help you avoid that and help you with your pup to live a much more healthier, holistic, high vibe life, then I've done my job. I've done my job. So, and my final thoughts to this is, remember, you have the power to make a difference in your pup's life and change how you are doing things and how their life will continue to evolve. That's up to you. Yeah, let that one just sit. It's completely up to you, and you have the power to make these changes. And I know it might feel overwhelming. It might feel stressful, and it might feel like you don't have enough time. But I got to be honest with you. Every small change that you make now makes a huge difference down the road. Start small. It's not overwhelming, and I'm here to help. That's it. One step at a time, one better brand at a time, simple food additions, and reading the labels, and watch how your pup will thrive. I saw it with my own eyes, so I know it makes a profound difference. Now it's your turn. So I want you to drop your biggest takeaway in the comments on this video, and what's one ingredient that you're going to cut out starting today, right now. Let's start making these positive shifts and make a difference in our pups' lives. This can make or break the beautiful life that you have with your pup today, tomorrow, and 5 and 10 years in the future. If I could have had one extra day, one extra year, one extra moment with my girl, I would have given anything for that. Anything for that. And I know you would with your pup as well. So if you want to go deeper, as I said, into this holistic dog food journey and some easy homemade recipes, let me know, because I actually have an ebook that has homemade recipes and all of this stuff in it. And again, just comment ebook in the comments, and I'm happy to get that to you. And remember to give your pup the gift of real, nourishing food. They deserve it, and you will see the difference immediately. Remember, thank you so much for being here. I'm so grateful for you every moment. Remember to always go out and create something magnificent with your pup. And I will see you on the next live. Thank you so much for being here. Bye. Ciao for now. Hold on. I'm saving this because I never know who watches the videos on Instagram. So I needed to save it so I can say hi to you guys. I'll talk to you later. Join the group because that's where all the content is happening. I'm adding so much to it and I'm really excited about it. So Michelle, Char, thank you for being here. And everybody else, mwah, I'll see you on the next live.